Hello everybody, my name is Halo. Welcome back to this video series where we're dealing with programming and design patterns in Python. Today we're going to be looking at the adapter pattern. Again, a very simple pattern. So let's get started. What an adapter is. Think about this. You have two types of sockets, at least in India, in your walls. You either have a 6 amp socket or a 16 amp socket, right? So you can't put plugs that have this 16 amp plug into this 6 amp plug, and that goes vice versa. So how do you solve that case? Well, you use something called an adapter, and you put your plug on top of that, and this adapter will connect to the other socket. And this goes through, let's say you want to use a pen drive for your phone. It can't directly go through because your pen drive is USB A, your phone is USB C. So what do you use there? You use an USB A to USB C adapter. Okay, that is what an adapter is. It is used to adapt methods so that you can do better functionality. An adapter class must be used to basically translate class A to class B. Okay, so just like how we're using that adapter, we also have something called an adapter class. Okay, now let's go ahead and look into this code. Again, this is very simple. So we're going to be looking into an example of a builder and a manager. Okay, so how this will work is, as a builder, okay, they will build stuff, right? As a manager, they will manage stuff, right? Let's say the builder has a function called work. Okay, but manager does not have this work function. Manager only has the manage function, for example. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to adapt this manage function into this work so that if a common piece of code is there, whether it's the builder, whether it's the manager, we can just call the work function and get output from that. How will that look like? Let us start with the builder class. I'm just going to go ahead and define a simple function, self print I am building stuff. Okay, and then we can also print something like print I like building stuff. This is an example. Okay, so we're going to be keeping these classes very simple so that we can speed run through this video and try to understand what this adapter is. We can also create a manager class. Again, manager will not have the work function. As we said, we'll have the manager function. So let's say I am managing stuff, and we'll have something like I like managing stuff, for instance. I like managing stuff. Okay, so once I'm done, so I have the two classes here. Now I want to adapt this. So as we discussed here, we have to use an adapter. So that's where we'll define our third class. Actually, maybe I can put that into a different code block. I just run this and it went through. I'm going to define my third class, and that's going to be my manager adapter. And this is the class that I'm actually going to. So I'll do initialize of self. So I'll just self dot object is going to be a manager's object. Okay, and the work will be nothing but self dot object dot manage. So manager, okay, sorry, this is the manage function, not the manager function. And so this object will simply call the manage whenever work is caught. Okay, and that is it. Our adapter is ready. Now how we want to use this in action? This is what that look like. So let's have a worker here of builder and a worker B. It is not a manager, but it's a manager adapter. You can see that when I call the manager adapter, actually manager is also instantiated only. So this is what my adapter does. All of this functionality still works, just under this name and adapted better. How all of this looks like, let's actually put this into a list. Let's say list A and B. Maybe we can create some more stuff also. I'll put C and D here. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. Now, if you're actually writing this code in lab exams and stuff, don't just name your variables A, B, C, D. Name it something meaningful, or else you're going to get nice scoldings from your teacher. In LST, I'm going to go ahead and do I dot work. That's it. So what do you think happens when I run this code? No errors. That's awesome. So it says I am building stuff. I like building stuff. I am managing stuff. I like managing stuff. Building, managing. So I have two builders and two adapters. I mean, two managers. All four, I'm only calling the work function. Now, manager by himself does not have the work function. He only has the manage function. But using an adapter, I am saying whenever you're working, you have to manage. Now, these adapters don't really only need to call another function. You can also add other functionality here. This is an adapted function, for instance. You can add things like this on top of that to make stuff more interesting and adapt it in better ways. As it says, this is an adapted function. So I hope this gives you a basic about what the adapter pattern is. Now work and mess around to find out more stuff about this, and try to create your own implementations of this pattern to truly understand about how that works. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helped you. If it did, hit that like button. We're dealing with a very simple concept here today, but yeah, if this helped you, hit that like button. I'll see you in another video. Until then.